Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks. And wow, is my mouth moving with my brain? Not really. Good morning there to all those that tune into my channel. It's a Monday morning. It's showing on my behalf here as I got to run up and get something to eat and get a coffee to kind of get my lingo going here. So as always, hey, thanks for tuning into my channel and watching me and listening to me talk and gab away, which is what I do many days. And here it is, the ongoing Friday visitation here with my parents, and but it's coming to an end. So I was kind of wanting to stay here another at least 2-3 days, but up north I just have way too many things going on that's really forcing the hand, but I'm gonna have to go back home. But for the most part, I feel like I've done what I should do down here to help others out. And there's the kid and popcorn right behind me. They showed up right behind me, and that's just so funny that here I am getting ready to go up the road, and they're pulling in the driveway as I go up and get something just to get out of the house and have somewhere to go, because for the most part I haven't gone anywhere. So Saturday and Sunday I spent a lot of time around my parents' house helping take care of my mother, and we're getting some physical therapists coming in to evaluate my mother, and so it's just a lot going on there. So really I just haven't had a lot going on because I've literally been stuck in the the camera just crapped out on me, so I have no idea how far we got into the conversation with you. So anyways, I just have been stuck in the house taking care of my mother for the whole weekend, and also having conversations with the physical therapist. And so what do we talk about? How do we start the week off? Where it's going to be a very busy week for me because I got to get everything packed up. Long drive back home. That's a solid day of just driving. So it's just going to be, for me, a hectic week, stressful week, really. And it's no comfort. It's not comforting having to leave my father and mother, because when we're here we do so much to help them, but it's challenging. And so I thought to myself, why don't we have the honest conversation? And once again, for me and my channel, bringing something to talk about that maybe draws people to listen to me talk. It's not that easy. And even for me, I thought, if I had the honest conversation, I thought, boy, isn't that the irony to life of where we are more than ever? Where is the honesty in today's society? I think most would agree with me that there isn't any honesty anymore in society. The honesty has disappeared. The liars, the thieves, the propaganda, the misinformation. I mean, it's massive of where we are in today's society, having so much technology within hand's reach, but yet the corruption, the deceiving, the list goes on and on and on of what's going on in our society more than ever, I feel like, in my lifetime, of things that just seem to be, you don't know what is truthful and what isn't. And so wow, yeah, the honesty conversations, always, I can take anybody that's gone out and bought a car, truck, motorcycle, whatever it may be. When you show up at the dealer, wouldn't you just love to look at the sales guy and say, can you just be absolutely honest with me about what's going to happen today? You talk to the sales manager, talk to the finance person. I mean, it's very challenging in business today for someone to present themselves in really an really an all-out honest conversation. I mean, and I think anybody here watching my channel could use example after example of you trying to do a business transaction, you in relationships, whatever it may be. What has happened to the honesty of civilization? And I think it even goes further with all the new technology, with artificial intelligence. Is artificial intelligence going to create and demand that humans are more honest with one another, but yet the humans are feeding the artificial intelligence to answer questions? So it just gets very, I could say, befuddling in so many ways. Because who hasn't been misled of what they think they're getting and they don't get? How many people have left their positions and left their careers for working for a company that was never really honest with them of the underlying goal of their task to be at that company? I guarantee you can have tons of people that could make comments that, yeah, I was told I was going to have this position eventually, and I gave all my time and energy and sacrificed things, only to the end, the company that I worked for backstabbed me and gave somebody else the position. Yeah, I guarantee you there's tons of those stories. Who hasn't had this story of a relationship, or your spouse, partner, whoever it may be, was not honest to you about the relationship? Meaning maybe they cheated on somebody. Hey, anybody that watches my channel, yeah, a huge challenge has been in my marriage, the honesty of buying yet another car and truck, motorcycle, whatever it may be. Yeah, that's a huge challenge. And there's many people out there that even comment on my channel that if they went out and did what I did, they would be divorced. Their wife, or I think it's more the wives and the husbands, because I think more of the dominant viewers of my channel are men. But I have to say, for most of men, that the wife would be like, we're done. If you're trying to follow this guy Ice Age Man, it's never going to happen. Can't blame them. So the honesty of us individuals, you know, then it turns into a game, because then people feel like, well, since that person wasn't honest to me, then I guess I'll just play the game right back at them, and I won't be honest to them. And especially when it comes to negotiating deals, business deals, and as always, I try to keep my car content, motorcycle content, and that's what I say. You're given a price, and then once you kind of get to the dealership, then like, well, the price that we quoted, if you actually read the fine print, you're paying the freight, the setup costs, the back end administration costs, blah blah blah, and then we got your financing approved for this number. But unbeknownst to you, they're not being honest to you that the dealer is taking their cut of the financing deal, and they're getting a cut of that rate to be rewarded to make more money in the back end. And then they go to the back end where they want you to buy the gap insurance, and they want you to buy the maintenance, and they want you to buy the tire and wheel, windshield, list goes on and on and on. And then you're telling the finance person, I really don't want that. I really don't want that. And then mysteriously at the end of the deal, if you don't really critique the paperwork, they have snuck in a add-on to your deal. Yeah, who hasn't had this happen? Let me go get my coffee here, Panera, so I can get my my brain to even think a little better, or can I? I don't know. Let's get out of the truck here. I really love how the Ram truck goes to an automatic e-brake. I don't know why the other manufacturers out there can't figure that out. And what's interesting here is there isn't a lot of people here. It seems to be quiet. Maybe I missed the initial rush, which I think is possible, but it just seems like it's awful quiet here at the Panera. Let me get my food. Yeah, wow. It's quiet. And some will say it's the off season. All the snowbirds are up north, so the population is kind of is lighter because it's off season. For the Floridians, as I get my nice iced coffee, iced coffee really is a hit for me right now. It doesn't irritate my GERD, and it's really good. I like it. It's so warm out. I don't really want a hot coffee. So the honesty conversations, which that's so broad, I think you could talk about it all day long, and all the aspects of our life. I mean, so many people are fed up with the general media and news because, as Donald Trump said, fake news. Donald Trump was the guy many years ago that got the word of the fake news conversation, which relates to dishonest information. And it's a huge problem, and more than ever, it seems like if you really look at today's political field, the dishonesty is through the roof. It's the agendas, it's the deliberate of demeaning others, and it just is a huge problem for those that really don't separate themselves from these media machines that just has a constant day in, day out brainwashing, in my views. and I'm sure many others. And the thing is, I think a lot of these big media companies are seeing people pulling back to a degree on this constant rhetoric of what so many think is just dishonesty. And I think that's one thing that drives people away from the cars and trucks that go to dealerships, and they just don't really want to interact with people because they feel like it's not going to be a very honest, good experience. And that's why many people today want to do things through the internet. They want to separate themselves from that in-your-face challenge of somebody, in their views, feeling like they're being misrepresented. And they want to do things electronically where they can have things more stated of the transaction, that before they go to the dealership, they see everything in great detail, which in many ways is smart, that you know exactly what you're going to get. And if you go to the dealership, or even today, they deliver the car to you, like I've done with Carvana. I've had 3 Carvana transactions, and I've had 2 of them where they have delivered the vehicles to me. So you can do a lot more than ever in trying to get the honest, actual, real numbers on a piece of paper before you agree to take the vehicle. And like Carvana, they give you, I believe, 7 days from taking possession of your vehicle to give it back and reverse the whole deal with no challenges, which that's a nice option. Because a lot of states, whether you realize it or not, once you buy a car, that state law may make it where you can't take the car back. I mean, I'm sure some people would challenge that, but if you felt like the deal of a vehicle you bought, it was not transparent, and you come to find out that things really were misguided and they were dishonest to you, in a lot of states, you're going to have the rights to reverse the deal. Some states, that may not be so easy to reverse that deal because of however the laws of that state are written. Now, one thing I think about is all the full self-driving, the autonomous vehicle that drives down the road. Where is that all going on honesty of people's driving behaviors? Because if you think about it, if the real full self-driving car really comes to be, then the car is going to be programmed to obey all the laws and be a very honest car. I mean, and so for so many that are behind the wheel of a car today, when you drive down the road, who's honestly obeying the laws that you witness all day long? People driving over the speed limit, people making illegal lane changes, people making illegal U-turns, people running red lights, people making a right turn on a red light that says don't turn on a red light. I mean, so there's so many things that you see, but is the whole idea of the Elon Musk world trying to create the honest car, the honest vehicle? Is the artificial intelligence world thinking that they're going to create mankind to be a more honest society because it's driven by all this artificial intelligence knowledge? Is the Optimus robot going to create a more honest task individual that will go to work and do things in an honest way? Versus, we know it's a huge problem in business is theft, is how people steal things, or they cheat the system of how much they're working and they're not working, or they're billing things that never got done. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So will that start to change the way mankind does business? And does it make it where it's better? Does it actually? And then for the competitors, if the competitors aren't on the same page to have all this new technology, then what plays out with that? Does then mankind intervene with all this artificial intelligence and start making it dishonest? And I think you can all look at the wars that are overseas. Does anybody honestly know really what's going on? Can you really get a handle on what's really going on? You see on X so many of these videos of the drones tracking down the Russian soldiers and blowing them up. And it's pretty disturbing to watch it. But what I wonder about this is war crimes, and I'm not a military expert, and I'm not defending Russia. I'm not going to defend Ukraine. I'm just speaking. When you go to X, you'll see these drones, and you'll see this unarmed Russian man that's scrambling for the life because he knows the drone can kill him. And you see how the Ukrainians take this drone and then they just obliterate him and blow him up. Or they drop bombs on him, whatever it may be. But the point is, I think to myself, this just makes no sense that these Russian soldiers have no military armor on them to try to shoot the drone out of the sky before it gets to them. Or they just have like no military, they got like their protective military gear on, but they don't have any ammunition or any guns or anything to defend themselves. So what's going on there? And then you think to yourself, I've witnessed many a times the Russian raising his hands to say, you know, he'll swap, he'll become a prisoner of war only to be terminated. So it's very confusing to watch the X videos and on X Twitter and see all these published Ukrainian videos showing how they're obliterating the Russian army with all their drone technology. And now there's being articles written that the drone, you know, the new warfare truly has gone to the drone warfare, and the Ukrainians have a very big arsenal of drones to fight the Russians. But once again, I think to myself, how is it fair that a Russian that's out in the middle of a field is being tracked down by a drone that is has no way to defend himself and is raising his hands to volunteer to be a prisoner, and yet the Ukrainians just kill him? I mean, to me, that doesn't sound fair. But others would, I'm sure, argue that, yeah, but he just left, you know, killing all these other Ukrainians, and they tracked him down, and he deserves to be killed. I mean, so, right. Don't you just love all the technology? So, for those watching my channel, it's just about me bringing ideas and thoughts and views to you to see if you kind of have the same ideas and views and thoughts. And more than ever, I think that we're in a society today that the honesty doesn't exist. I mean, sincerely, does honesty exist today? Here's the kid. I think the kid knows how to. She must have a story. Yes, she probably does. Here she's coming walking. Something's going on. Something's going on. What?
I called you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened?
I was wondering where you were going for breakfast.
I went to Panera.
What'd you get?
An iced coffee
And what else?
and a sandwich.
Okay.
What, did you want that?
Well, I was going to ask you to get me a sandwich. I called you 3
But why is my phone connected to this truck?
I don't know.
She's so funny. You were up the street right next to Panera. So now it's you were right next to Panera.
I know, but I just didn't. I was nauseous.
You want me to go up there and get you something? I can. Poor kid. There you go. Well, I don't know. My phone, isn't that something? Look at my car. It's getting destroyed down here. It just makes no sense. What the hell is all this frickin' rain? Look, it's like salt. I just, the life. It's challenging. Challenging having to go take care of family, man. I can't emphasize enough that there's a lot going on. Yeah, can I be honest to you about everything that's going on? How can I do that? My wife gets pissed off at me. Once I start telling you the honesty of things, the wife's like, nope, remove that video. You can't do that. I mean, that's the fact. You think I'm making that up? Yeah, my wife gets very upset with me telling you the way it is. So if I start telling you the way it is of everything down here, yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks simple, right? No. Extremely, very challenging. What's going on through my family right now. And for my sister, that's a whole other story of what she's going through right now to take care of my parents. I mean, you just have no idea. Yeah, it's radical. It's very radical. But I'm getting a lot of information through the physical therapist of how things work down here and how you get taken care of, and it's extremely challenging. If anybody here is older and knows the Medicaid, the Medicare, the insurance, how they control so much of how you're going to live. It's huge, and people know that more than ever, the health industry has become much more strict on what they'll do and what they won't do. I mean, it's just it's incredible. And that's the thing about life is, can somebody just cut to the chase and be honesty and tell you how things work out? Yeah, right. What's the biggest challenge of the politicians that run on these freaking agendas? Are they really honest about what plays out? For the most part, I think many would agree that yeah, it's twisted like you can't believe. It's the twisted truths, twisted agendas, and who pays the bill at the end of the day besides us, the taxpayers? And then it's the old running argument with the different parties that it'll be, well, your former president, he ran up the debt like never seen. No, but then you told my president, he balanced the budget. Yeah, right. It's a bunch of malarkey. And if you read the economics of where we're in this country, it's not good. The future is not good. But people are like, we'll just keep on printing money. It sure will. But eventually there will be the dead reckoning. Here's what's really interesting. So I always talk about all the doomer gloomers. That in my views, in so many ways, they come across as being dishonest. But I will give credit to some of these YouTubers that really are raising their hand, and they really preach the same thing day in and day out. I give them credit. They don't give up. So this is an eye-opener. This morning I did a Zillow of all the homes in the Tampa area, Oldsmar, Tarpon Springs, Miami, Orlando, and wow. So there's a house across the street here that's for sale. See if I can get it over there for you. I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't even see it because of the pool. So that house way over there has been on the market now for over 3 months, which down here, that's a long time. I mean, for this area here, typically a house goes on the market, and it probably usually sells within 30 to 60 days. So that house there is challenged, but it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, very small footprint home. So, but they had a big open house yesterday. I didn't see anybody throughout the day per se of being over there and looking at that house. I'm sure people probably did, but I didn't see anything. But here's the challenge. So in this little Oldsmar community, it isn't really that radical. There's like 133 homes for sale. But then you go next door to Tampa, which is just like, you skip across the street and you go to the Tampa area, and there's like 2,200 homes for sale. And here, this is kind of interesting because this gentleman down here and his wife that are walking down the street, he is actually a realtor that just moved in here. And I asked him when I first came down here and met him for the first time, what's going on in the real estate market, and his presentation to me was nothing unusual. It's fine. The real estate market's healthy. It's a great market still, and that was his presentation. There's nothing to be really worried about. It's a great market. Times are good. So here in Tampa, there's like 2,100 plus homes for sale. Wow. You go to the Miami area, there's 4,500 homes for sale. You go to Orlando, there's 3,000 homes for sale. But I'm not a realtor, so I don't really know those numbers. But to me, when I hear in Tampa, there's 2,100 homes for sale, it just sounds to me like that's a lot of homes. But the expert may be, but that's 1 million people that live in that area, so that's nothing unusual. I don't know. But what I do know is from the pandemic and everything else that we've had, and going to Zillow and looking at availability for homes, like in this area, those numbers were very small. So if you had looked at this Oldsmar area for houses for sale just 6 months ago, you maybe saw 20, 30, 40 homes for sale. So now it's over 100 for sale. In Tampa, you may have seen what I remember, maybe 700, 800 homes for sale. Now it's 2,000. So I guess the honesty, I guess as time progresses, we're going to start to really see what's really playing out in this economy, and can the media machine continue to try to present that the country is really not, the country's okay, that things are okay, times are okay. Can the car dealerships continue to try to make it look like things aren't in dire straits? So once again, I'm the guy that's calling these people out, saying they're all just running their mouths every day of their life, predicting the doom and gloom. But at the end of the day, is it really starting to play out? Is it really happening? As what so many say, is the Dodge dealership going to go broke? The Ram dealership going to go broke? All the car dealerships? Are the Harley dealerships going to go broke? I mean, I can say that when we bought this Harley, the sales manager there, he said it's definitely slower. Are they still selling things? They are. But at the same time, it isn't what it used to be. So I felt like that was an honest answer. But I know when I was there, the one sales guy that I know there, he sold 2 motorcycles that following day. When I was there, I saw numerous people in the dealership looking to buy a motorcycle. So, but I guess for those that run a business, they want to sell 10 motorcycles a day instead of 2 or 3 motorcycles a day, and I get all that. And so then, for us individuals that are so drawn into all these cars and trucks and motorcycles, and what's the main theme of my channel being the ICE age, the internal combustion engine age, and it's all about me hammering on how the EV age is on our doorstep, trying to take over the ICE age, which so many agree with, but we all feel it's a dishonest movement. We all feel like it's an agenda. We all feel like it's really undermining this country more than ever, because it's China-based driven technology that has exploded throughout the world, and now this sitting administration is wanting to catch up and try to be a China junior. If you really step back and look at what China's accomplished in their electric vehicle market and the renewable energies that they're creating and building in China, and now how this country wants to take the same business model and follow China and then duplicate it here, which so many people think is such a dishonest way of the future for the transportation and the lifestyles that they're going to force upon us to live. And so many, I think, feel like it's a dishonest movement because it's just really the government wanting to control you more than ever and have access to everything you own, because everything's going to be computerized, and all this artificial intelligence, the autonomous cars, the list goes on and on and on, the internet. And I think so many feel like the driven agenda is the dishonesty of our powers to be, just to overtake your life and to control you. We're going to social scores. Who doesn't know all these stories? So I think more than ever, it's interesting on how who's talking about the honesty in our country. You see somebody on my channel reach out and say, oh, there's many articles, there's many other YouTubers that are, bringing to light to people more than ever in today's society that the dishonesty is through the roof. And we're witnessing it, and we all feel, I'm sure, that in the political realm of things, I'm sure many would agree that the dishonesty of these political figures is bad. It's beyond bad. Look at the grass. Even though we've been getting some rainstorms here, but nothing radical. But what I'm wondering is, my dad's sprinkler system, I thought it was not operating, because the way of this car is, you'd swear that there's water coming up on this car from my dad having an automatic sprinkler system, but I thought we turned that off. I don't know. It just doesn't end trying to manage somebody else's house when you're there visiting. And what do I have to do? I've got to figure out how. I don't know. How do I get 4 motorcycles back up north with technically a 2 motorcycle trailer? That's a whole other project. Will my CB 1000R fit in the back of that bed of that truck with me towing a trailer? I don't think it is, but that's a whole project where I'm going to have to go dedicate time just putting that bike in the bed of that Ram truck to see how I can position it, if it'll fit. And if it doesn't, then we're going to have to leave this down here, which will have to go to my brother's house. I don't trust it being here. Challenge here with my parents is it's just neighborhood, too many eyes. There's just too many people walking this neighborhood. All the landscapers, all the delivery people, It's infinite of who's in this neighborhood, and you know as well as I do. If somebody's really on a mission, and they're just checking out my mom and dad's house, and they see this garage open, these motorcycles, what do you think's going to happen eventually? Yeah, I know what's going to happen. That little Honda Monkey's going to disappear. Even the motorcycles, these lighter bikes, Harley's a lot of bike. You know, that's like a 1,000-pound bike. But these 500-pound bikes, poof, gone. So would I leave my motorcycles here in this garage this time around? No way. It has to go to my brother's house where he locks his garage all day long, and he's very abreast of security cameras. But here, I'm surprised. A few years ago, I left my bikes down here for as long as I did, never really thinking about how my dad isn't the most efficient of closing this garage door. So, yeah, the honest conversations, right? Yeah, I could talk a long time, but I got a very busy morning, very busy day, and I haven't even told my mom or dad that I'm going to have to leave tomorrow, because it becomes a very depressing conversation for them, because our presence here helps them. But, I mean, the problem is up north, I don't have the help to continue to help me run my company, and there's so many things going on that my help can't do. And then Kiefer Dog, we're paying a trainer and boarding. I mean, it's very expensive. I mean, we realize it or not, this turns into a $5,000 trip. Well, when you have to pay people to take care of things up north, you got to pay for board for your dog and blah, 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 blah. And then you factor in the gas and blah. Oh, this turns into a $6,000, $7,000 trip. People are like, what? Okay, so what? People work for you for free? Yeah, I got people up north that are doing my work, and I don't pay them anything. I've got a person taking care of our dog, and they don't charge you anything. These cars, 2 cars here, that truck right there going back, that'll be $500 in fuel. That'll be $200, $300 in fuel. I mean, so it starts to add up. And then when I'm down here, I'm helping take care of my family, and I'm buying all the food and this and that. I mean, yeah, so you think I'm embellishing? No, it's very expensive. So, yeah, just trying to be honest and forthright and forthcoming. And I think that's a challenge in today's social media is when you listen to people, are they honest and forthcoming about really what's going on? And that's the challenge. All right, that's it. My morning conversation. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a blessed, honest, great day. And stay tuned for more adventures as we get the truck and trailer packed up. And do I make videos of that? I've been trying to load up the CV1000R into that Ram truck. Wow, yikes. I don't even have a ramp. My brother has a ramp, but it's a dirt bike ramp. Can I even make that work? I don't know. Stay tuned. Have a great day.